Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you're listening or watching. There we go. This latest episode of VODCAST podcast with me, Joe Redmond, and my good friend Simon Talner. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Very well, pal. Thank you. You?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
You've been up kitchen there.
I am.
Hey,
there you go. If you want to have a look.
Beautiful.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm in my new kitchen. We did say I was going to be in my office, but I'm not going to desk. So I've not been very prepared. So I'm in the kitchen. Also, I'm not very prepared in the sense that, unfortunately, I've left the microphone at the old house. I haven't picked it up yet. So if the audio's a bit shit, I apologise. I'm only using my AirPods and the audio on there. I don't think it's as good as a USB microphone, but Simon says it sounds okay. So we'll trust Simon. The new kitchen is a bit echoey as well, so apologies if you're picking that echo up. It'll get sorted out. Hopefully by next week I'll be in a different room and it'll be sorted. Well, number one, I'll have the microphone back, so that'll make it sound better. But yeah, have you been up to much, mate, this week?
Nothing, mate. Just usual recovery. What about yourself, apart from moving?
That's it. Moving. Yeah. And honestly, and again, some people will be watching on Facebook now and they'll be thinking, I'm sure we didn't see an episode last week. Yeah, totally forgot to put it on Facebook last week, I'm going to be honest. I started moving on Friday, didn't I? So and it got to like Friday at 7 p.m. and I was like, oh shit, I ain't done it yet. And I was like, quick, I'll start doing it now. And then something else came up and I got sidetracked. Got back to this house at like 9. I'm like, oh, forget it. I'm not putting it up at this time. And also the pre-game show, I didn't forget to do that, but I think I said at the time, didn't I? There was a lot of editing to be done with it. And just with moving, I didn't have enough time to do all the editing and stuff. So apologies for that, but back to normal now this week. No more moving. Well, hopefully not for a few years anyway. Still going to get a few bits and stuff from the old house yet, but that won't really affect any podcasts or anything. But yeah, I feel like I've sort of like neglected the podcast a little bit at the minute because other things had to take priority. So I apologise to the listeners for that. But before we get into this week's podcast, I do want to quickly mention, as always, that we are, of course, sponsored by Pitch Sports. So if you haven't already, please do go and check them out. They are available on the App Store and on the Android Play Store, whatever it is on there. And as Simon is beautifully gesturing, it's on the bottom of your screen now. You demonstrate. Well, no, because you were pointing. You weren't demonstrating the app, were you? You were pointing towards the banner at the bottom of the screen. So it is at the bottom of your screen. Now, all the information we give you every single week. Like I said, it is sort of like a fan hub where you can go and speak to fans of the same club, of other clubs, put your opinions across, and even answer some questions that we put out there on the app for you to interact with us. But anyway, let's get into the game then. Of course, it was Burnley 1, Everton 1 at the weekend. You did the watch-along for me, Simon, so you're probably better placed than me, definitely, to do it, because I was on the telly at this house, and then I had to go get something from the other house, and I put it on the telly there, and I was going in between houses, so I missed bits. From what I gather, I'll put my point across first, because this time I've not watched that much of it, so I won't waffle on for too much. From what I gather, we started well. Obviously, we got the goal as well, so that kind of proves that. But then Everton came back into it. But we should have been 2-0. I've still not seen that chance, though, where we should have gone on 2-0 up. I think a few people said. But yeah, Everton 1, Burnley 1, go.
Yeah, a good chance, that second one. But we'll start from the beginning. It were a fiery start out of the blocks from Burnley. We were sort of tenacious in midfield again. And it's just one of them games where there was individuals that were standing out, but collectively there was no one doing anything wrong either, and it just, unfortunately, that second chance didn't go in. But people keep going back to that. Oh well, if Wood had put that second chance away, if he'd have done this. But in retrospect, if Nick Pope weren't in the goal, mate, it could have been 3-1 to them. You know what I mean? It's just, we all had chances, and I think ultimately, to summarise sort of what was a good game, really, it was probably a fair result in the end. But that was my sort of take on it. I think 1-1 was a fair result. It was disappointing to not win when we played so well, though.
Yeah, I think for me, if I could summarise it from what I saw of it, I'd say the first half we were the better side. Last 5-10 minutes, Everton came back into it in the first half. But second half, Everton were the better side. So in a way, a game of two halves, and from that, yeah, I'd probably agree that a draw was probably a fair result. But you've mentioned Nick Pope playing well. You mentioned Chris Wood missing the chance. I do want to talk about Robbie Brady, Player of the Year. Robbie Brady. He's well on the way to it now as well, to be fair. He's back and he's got to go. But obviously, jokes aside, it's good to see Robbie Brady, A, back, and B, playing well again. Because when we first signed him, I thought he was class. And we say it time and time again. Season 7, it was fantastic that season. But since the injury, he's been poor. So not to go full cliche on everybody, but Robbie Brady could be like a new signing if he starts playing well and scoring goals again.
Well, you definitely didn't go cliche there, mate. Basically, I think myself, Brady's one of them that he has to start turning on these performances. It's all right doing it today or the last game even, but yeah, we need to see 3 out of 4 good performances from him, because we have stood by him. He has been here a while. He has survived many an injury. But like you said, Burnley fans are sort of begging for a performance now from him. And I'm not going to lie, when I see his name, and I did it this time, when I see his name on the team sheet, you're automatically sort of thinking, it's almost like we're down to bare bones when I see his name on the team sheet. Especially when there's other players that I look at and I think, fair enough, he's pushed them out. But yeah, he had a good game. He had a really good game. All but that bit of cramp where I thought he was down injured again in the 85th minute or whatever it was. I just made the number up. But when he was down, I thought, oh, here we go again. But no, he got up, he got on with it. I've not heard anything to say that he's got any injury after he went off. I think he's done all right. Hopefully, he'll play again the next game, because he did look lively. And maybe, as I keep saying in sort of previous podcasts, the run of consistent players with the games coming up would be what we need to get momentum. I think consistency.
Yeah, well, I think he has to play next game, doesn't he? It'd be stupid for Dyche to get him in, get him playing well, and then just remove him again. So any confidence that he could build from getting a run in the side will just immediately be taken away from him. So yeah, he definitely has to play. I know we've mentioned Nick Pope, but let's talk about him again, because he was the winner of the Turfcast podcast Man of the Match award. So big shout out to Nick for that. That is obviously the most prestigious Man of the Match award there is. For Burnley players, of course, they all look out for who is the Turfcast podcast Man of the Match. Just ask Tarky, just ask Matt Amwoody next time you see him, mate. I've been told they all look out for it. But it's
an award for it post.
Yeah, exactly. They're just waiting for the tag. They're waiting for the tag on Twitter. That's what they're waiting for. But it was Nick Pope this week. But again, he played brilliantly, didn't he? Like, don't get me wrong, Nick Pope. Where did he make that mistake? Was it the Newcastle game earlier this season? But ever since then, he's just been Mr. Reliable, and he's done it again this season. Obviously, he made the save against Crystal Palace later on that got us the 3 points, and he's kept us in this game again. But another solid performance from him.
Honestly, he was class. Everything that we love about him in previous seasons, that it's been hard to see any player have an individual sort of great performance this season. But to see him back, he starts at the back, mate. We've said it before. You get that back five sorted, and you can build on that, because it makes yourself hard to beat is the first thing that we sort of do at Burnley, innit? And it was good to see it, mate, because it gives you confidence to push on. I've seen, we saw as wing backs, which I'll go into soon. Both wing backs were going past the halfway line, because you've got that sort of reliability behind you. You've got Ben Mee now, you've got Tarker, and if they still get through them, you've still got half a chance with Pope. He's one of them keepers that sort of like Tom Eaton had it as well, where when they're through, you still think he's going to save it. He's going to save it. You still got all the confidence that striker's got to put it past Nick Pope yet, rather than shit, he's 3-1-1. Look at the Benteke save where it was just like, I know it was a snapshot, but it was literally instantaneous, that reaction.
Yeah.
And then it was same again. He's carried it on. It was brilliant, mate. 2 or 3 saves. I can't pick a favourite one. The one that you've got a picture on TC with him diving into the corner looked the best. But technically, I don't know if it was the best, but that one looked the best for me.
I think it was not one for cameras, because he needed to be at full stretch, but the pictures of it are insane. They're the sort of pictures that I can imagine him having 50 foot high on his hole. As soon as you walk into his house, for example. That's
a great image, and I think it couldn't come at a better time to perform that way, because you've got Southgate in the stands. There's no arguing now. I hope he's watching this. He had both keepers in front of him. And for me, that's the reason Southgate were there. I don't think he was there to look at anything else other than these two keepers. Obviously, other people come into the frame afterwards, but
yeah,
he did himself a world of good. And I know Kieran Phillips will be watching this. He'll be going absolutely berserk if Pickford's starting in the next game.
100% Pickford will start. Tell you now.
But my point is, he has done exactly what Southgate's asked. Southgate said in that press conference, no one's really forcing for the place of Pickford at the minute. Basically saying to the other keepers, go out there and take his space then. There's always an indirect comment behind these things in the press. You know it.
Yeah.
Managers say one thing, but basically they're saying, well, fucking go on then, sort it out, prove yourselves, and then I'll put you in. But he can't say that, can he, in the media? So no. I think he's done exactly what the Southgate's asked. He's gone out there and he's put a performance on there.
Just for the purposes of balance, not that I need to be balanced because this isn't a Premier League podcast, it's a Burnley podcast, but just in the purposes of balance, Pickford played well as well, to be fair.
Really well. He did a couple of good saves. Going back to the Wood chance that he missed, equally it was a good save, mate. If we're looking at the flip reverse of this and we're on an Everton podcast, they'll be saying how good work fucking Pickford today with that save, especially from the Chris Wood one-on-one. It was a reactive save and he's kind of thrown his leg out, but Wood's done what you would do normally in that situation. You either bend it round the goalkeeper or you put it through his legs when he's come out running like jumping. And he did that, but Pickford managed to save it. And it were a good save, mate. So, yeah, both keepers played well. But in front of Southgate, there were one winner for me. And that's not being buried.
You've mentioned the full-backs there. Matty Lawton, apologies. Robbie, if you're listening, sorry, mate. Blame Phil Bird. Gets a lot of stick from Burnley fans, should I say, recently. From a few below par performances, a lot of people would rather have Phil Bards in there, and that's fair enough. I've said it time and time again. Horses for courses, them too. Sort of different sort of games, different sort of players I'd have. But Lawton were fantastic against Everton, weren't they? I think you had him down as your man of the match, and we included him in the poll, and I think he finished second. I might be wrong. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, talk to me about Louts.
Pope's going to win a man of the match because of the potency of the saves. They were big saves. And they were brilliant saves, and he played really, really well. Lawton for me was a 10 out of 10 in sort of performance individually. I think he did everything you would want your fullback to do. He was defensively solid, mate. It was not just that, he was composed and even trying to take players on rather than just long balling it down to Wood, which is obviously what they're told to do because both wing backs do that, or both fullbacks, it depends which game we're playing. Both fullbacks do that normally. They just get hold of the ball, get it down, and then try and build from there. And I know that's a tactic. But he tried to be composed. He tried to play the ball into midfield to try and build the play. But then equally, he's just solid defensively, mate. No one were getting past him. If you hear the commentary back and you hear sort of people's negatives, they got a lot of space on the right-hand side, which is our left. We didn't really have any threats coming from that left-hand side. We did really, really well. And there's some good players in that team that could have caused bigger problems, like Richarlison, etc. No one got past him, mate. Solid. And then it was good to see because once he were getting into their half, his delivery was honestly spot on, mate. It was fantastic.
Well, he's always been class going forward, hasn't he? I just think recently he's probably been a little bit too easy to get past. But like you say, he'll look back to his best defensively. So fingers crossed that can continue. Just to have a look on who scored. I know because they give ratings and stuff.
Yeah. I do like
Matty Lawton, Neil said Loughton again then, was above average. The man of the match for Burnley was interestingly Dwight McNeil from Who Scored, which he didn't really come into thinking for many Burnley players. But I did see a stat recently that I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. I haven't got it ready. I think Chris Borden retweeted it. Of all the players that have attempted more than so many dribbles, I think it's like 10 dribbles, Dwight McNeil has the highest success rate of like 70%. And it's I wasn't actually going to ask you a question about him, but it's brought it up nicely. Because we're all thinking he's having a bit of a poor season, isn't he? But I know stats can not always tell the same story, so maybe that one's doing this here. But are we missing something there with Dwight? Because that's Who Scored, who said he was the best player on the pitch for Burnley, and Who Scored go into all the analytics and stuff like that. So are we missing something? Is Dwight doing something that we're not missing? or a stats not telling the full story?
No, yeah, I do think we were so overwhelmed with how well he did that all of a sudden we're becoming underwhelmed by what is still a good performance now, because the expectations have gone higher and higher for him. So possibly, that is realistic. But to be fair, he probably had 2 stints of, so call it half a game, but in 2 different halves, where he were really good and he were getting past people, delivering it. A couple of turns, mate, where he just took 2 players out that I can remember, where he were running towards James Hargreaves stand actually, and 2 players just chasing him out. He only literally did a bloody Cruyff turn, and all of a sudden he were through both, and they were both looking down as if say, "Where's ball gone?" Honestly, it was the simplest thing you've ever seen. But yeah, he does it. He makes it look that simple. That's the difference. Him and Brownhill, I'd still say Brownhill was the better player on the day for me.
Fair enough. That's interesting. I've been impressed with Brownhill, to be fair, and I really like him. I think Jack Court's going to struggle to get in the side, but that's a different debate. Right, that's what me and Simon obviously think of the match. As usual, we have the fan reaction where we encourage you after a match to give us your opinion on the match. You can film yourselves just talking about the match and giving your opinion, or if you're a bit camera shy, you can just send in a recording and we'll just stick it out on the podcast. But this is what the Burnley fans had to say this week about the Burnley Everton game, and just have a watch out for the 2 chaps from New Zealand.
Ethan Martin, New Zealand Clarets. Just watched the Everton game. Martin, your thoughts?
I was very pleased with the performance. I thought it looked like the Burnley of old. Pity we couldn't get the full 3 points, but given who Everton are, I'm not unhappy with that.
I thought they played really well, to be fair.
Yeah.
At times they passed the ball really well, really well to Burnley. They passed it between them. They were patient. There were some really nice bits of play. After the results at City last week, I thought it was a much better performance.
Yeah.
Pity we couldn't get that second goal. We desperately needed that second goal. Chris Wood was through, but Pickford saved.
I was pleased with Robbie Brady today.
Yeah.
I thought, he almost lasted the whole game, which is a bit unusual, and he got the goal as well. So no, I'm very pleased, and maybe we'll see more of him. He's a good footballer.
Yeah, Brady did play well actually, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
J-Rod had a good game, I thought.
Solid at the back.
Yeah, Everton, I think they seem to be having a lot of luck down the wings.
Especially on the right-hand side.
Especially in the second
half.
half.
Right-hand side.
Yeah, their right-hand side. That was slightly worrying. But I don't think we can complain with the result. And then I think, was it Arsenal next week?
Yeah.
Well, we could, if we play like that, we could potentially get a result against Arsenal. But we can't be too disappointed with that. No. They played well, I thought. Right at the end, McNeil scuffed his shot when the goal was there. Was it 92 minutes? Gutted, absolutely gutted. You could tell how much it hurt him as well.
Last year that would have gone in.
Yeah, he'd have buried that last year. But there you go. But no, positive, onwards and upwards, I would say. Yep.
Looking forward to the next game.
Absolutely. Ta-da from New Zealand.
I thought we played really well. I thought we were unlucky not to get the 3 points, to be honest. Some great individual performances. Matty Lowton, I thought, was outstanding down that right-hand side. I thought that was one of his best games in a Claret shirt for a long time, probably since the Arsenal game last season. I thought it was awesome. Got up, got going forward when he could, and put some great balls into the box and defended really well yesterday. Surprised me with that performance. I thought it was outstanding. Nick Pope made a couple of good crucial saves, but apart from that, he never really troubled, really. Again, Southgate watching it stands. For me, he's got out of the 2 yesterday. He was the most confident goalkeeper, and that's not just being biased. That's just watching them both yesterday. It's a great goal from Robbie Brady. Can't take anything away from him. It's a great strike with the right foot, but I thought Pickford should be doing better from that kind of distance. I think he should be getting a glove on it at least. I don't think he should be getting beat from there. Brownhill for me was man of the match by a country mile. I don't know what fucking game Martin Keown were watching to give it any Everton player. I think he gave it Godfrey. I don't know what game we were watching. Brian was absolutely magnificent yesterday. I thought it was best game in a Clarets shirt, and he's been a great signing for us. You know, links up the play well, breaks the play up when the opposition's coming at us with Westwood. I think Jack Court's going to struggle to take back in that team, if I'm honest. You know, him and Westwood forming a good partnership. Yeah, so all in all, it's a good point, but we've got to start turning these draws into wins. You know, I thought we could have got the 3 points yesterday. Probably should have. Just shaded it probably on chances. You know, Woods had that chance before at 1-0 and he makes it 2-0 and that's game over for me. I think we would have gone in confidence, maybe even got another one. But I thought we deserved the 3 points yesterday. You know, nice and compact, defended really well, defended magnificently. You know, didn't give Rodriguez or Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin much. Apart from the goal, you know, we just switched off, bit of ball watching. From Tarky and me as the ball's come in, you know, we're just ball watching instead of following Calvert-Lewin. And I thought all in all it's a good point. But like I said, we've got to start turning these draws into wins. And that news on that takeover this week by ALK looks to be getting nearer. Who knows? I just thought, you know, Mark Garlick's doing the right thing and he's taking the best interest of the club in hand and not just selling to the highest bidder. You know, we need to be left in good hands. We don't want to be ending up like them bastards down the road, you know, scrapping around and fighting around at lower leagues. You know, we've had our time down there. We need to be kept up on the big boys. Still confident we'll stay up. I think just about, you know, results have gone for us this weekend. Fulham's got beat again at City. Leicester's got a late winner this afternoon at Sheffield United. So, you know, West Brom's got a tonking. That's going to help with the goal difference, you know. So we've got to start, like I said, turning these draws into wins. Onwards and upwards to next week.
That was better, wasn't it? Delighted for Brady. I'm amazed he both started and then lasted almost a full match, and we haven't heard he's been injured since. So hopefully that's him okay for a little while. So that's a positive. But performance-wise, it was back to where it should be, I think, which is important after last week. So I'm not really worried about relegation yet because there's signs of being back to what we know we are. You know, Spurs game, Crystal Palace game, and then City in it. But I'd be more worried if we'd have got hammered yesterday or the performance was just as bad. But the fact we've bounced back, that's a good sign. A point against Everton, I'd have taken it before the match if you'd have offered it anyway. I thought we had some good chances. I thought Wood was unlucky to find Pickford, who was actually doing all right to be fair. But Nick Portman, unreal. If Southgate was watching them two together, surely now he's not in any doubt about which one should be number one. Calvert-Lewin was always going to score. I think he's a good player. I really like him. Although was it Westy or Brownhill? I think I can't remember which one it was. I thought they were fouled in the build-up, and initially I thought there was a bit of offside as well. But when I've seen it again, I don't think there is. But attack seems to be just better. Seems to be creating a few more chances now, taking a few more risks. Now whether that's because J-Rod's on and he's a bit more direct. I don't know, or whether confidence is just coming back. But either way, it's good. And it won't be long before goals and then wins start coming along either. Disappointed to only get a point after taking the lead, but Everton are a team who want to be finishing 6th and 7th, so you take a point anyway. But the performance is good and it's getting better. And as I say, goals and wins they'll come eventually. We just need a run of no injuries now. Get this takeover or whatever investment, whatever it is done. Get a couple of faces in January, push on second half of the season. I think we'll be all right. There's worse teams than us in the league. And if we can keep getting these performances better every week.
So yeah, I mean, that was the fan reaction. Big shout out to everybody who got involved in that. And not, as I said, sorry, at the start of that, look out for the New Zealand guys. They were obviously the two lads at the beginning. Big shout out to the chaps on New Zealand Clarets that got involved. It's great to get someone from so far away to get involved in the fan reaction. And a big shout out for Kieran and Neil for getting involved as well. And as I always say, please, if you want to get involved, please do. Because I nearly didn't do it this week, you know, because I only got sent Kieran's and Neil's, and I'm like, I can't just put two out. I was too busy to do one myself. Thankfully, the New Zealand Clarets came to the rescue, so I put it out. So I nearly had to cancel the fan reaction this week, and I was just going to put it in the podcast rather than doing it on the show. So if you are always thinking about doing it, or you don't never really get around to it or whatever, please see if you can do it this week, because we nearly had to cancel it, and it's some people's favourite feature, and yet these people aren't getting involved. It'd be good to get more people involved, is what I'm saying. But yeah, big shout out to everybody for getting involved. Now I'm going to do the bit now. This is the bit where I normally do the pitch sport video. Now, I said to you all last week, didn't I, that I'm going to upload a video, and it's a question about Josh Benson. Now, I also said at the start of this podcast that I may have been neglecting the podcast a bit recently, but I also forgot to send the fan time video. So a lot of you, there you go. I'm making it up to pitch by putting the name at the bottom again for this bit. Get their branding out there again. So apologies to that, because I know some people actually pause the podcast and go and answer it, or wait until after it and then go and answer it. So apologies to those of you that were looking on the Pitch Sport app and couldn't find it. And I do sometimes say, like, oh, pitch can sometimes, take a while to get it uploaded and stuff, because they're all very busy. No, it was just me this week. It was just me being shite, and I forgot to do it. But do not fear. I have I've sent it off. That very question, which I said I was going to do last week, I've sent it off, and there it is on the fan time. It's on the top now. Do you want to see more off Josh Benson? Now, I don't type it. They've typed it. I've asked, do you want to see more of Josh Benson? So it is there. If you want to go and answer it now. So yeah, this is normally the bit where I read out the answers. There's no answers because I've only just uploaded it. But what I'm going to do now, this is good. This is good. It means I can send a video every week to them on Wednesdays, so that when we record on Wednesday night, it's there ready and waiting. So then we have a week of me saying, hey, go and do it, and then advertising it on the socials, and then you boys can all go and answer it, and girls can all go and answer it. Happy days, everyone's a winner. So that's basically what I was doing. I was just resetting the status quo, so we can do it that way. Anyway, next up, Arsenal. Now, normally, see, you're pulling that face. Normally, it's a very, very tough game for the Clarets. Arsenal are traditionally a top 6 side, but they are currently 15th in the Premier League after 11 games. 15. I know it's December and stuff, so it sounds worse than what it is. It's not a normal December, but it's still 11 games. You wouldn't expect to see Arsenal down in 15th after 11 games. Arteta is under big pressure as well. Simon, your phone.
Yeah, sorry.
Unprofessional. If you want to put it on silent. So yeah, it's on paper. You should be looking at this game and thinking we can get something from this because the 15th, but it's Arsenal, and Arsenal always found a way against Burnley. Whether they just play better than us on the day, or they practically pick the ball up and throw it into the net, they always tend to find a way. So, what are your thoughts on this game, then, Sammy?
This is the kind of game that if you are an Arsenal fan, you are looking at this thinking this is where we need to kick on now and start our season. You know what I mean? They'll look at teams like Burnley and see this as you sort of guaranteed 3 points at the beginning of the season. I don't think they'll look at it any differently now. I think that they've got an exact sort of running a figure. They will know exactly where they want to be in the next 5 games. You know, like you did it the other day. How many points do you think we'll get from this, Clarets? Literally, we have no idea. It could be 3, it could be 12, knowing us. But they will know exactly what their minimum expectation is. And that's the difference, you see, because of obviously the calibre of club we're playing against. I seen a stat, probably Dave Roberts or whatever he's called, on Twitter, and he put on that Aubameyang scored like X amount of goals this season, but his form against Burnley is 7 in the last 5.
Yeah, that was actually, I've seen that. That was actually Phil Bird.
Was it Phil Bird? Oh, Phil Bird. I like Phil Bird. And he put it on, and like I said, I didn't read who it were, but I remember reading it, thinking what a good stat that is, but not in our favour, unfortunately. So away at the Emirates, against the calibre of team and players that we are playing against, it's still a ridiculous result if we get anything. And I'm including a draw in that. If we get anything, it is a ridiculous result. Irrelevant.
I know. I appreciate that, but I don't know. I normally don't. I hate playing Arsenal, and this week will be no different. They'll find a way. They'll find it. Even when we were good, with score a penalty in the 89th minute or whatever, and then they'd score one in the 96th, or something daft like that, and they always tend to find a way. It'll be interesting on the pre-game show. I haven't actually interviewed anybody yet. I've been too busy but I have...
Get your mate Claude on.
But this is it. Claude won't be on it, but someone from his channel will be on it. Basically, Terry's better than Claude. In terms of talking and have a conversation with, Terry will be better. But yeah, I'm going to try and get Terry on. But of course, Arsenal are playing at the time of recording tomorrow night. They're playing in the Europa League. So I want to do it after that, so we have that as a point of reference. So I will probably be interviewing him on Friday night or maybe live on Sunday morning. We'll see. I ain't done a live pre-game show for a while, so I might get a live pre-game show in this week. But go on.
When's match?
Sunday.
Is it?
I hope. Have I got it wrong again?
I don't know, man. Let me check. Go on, how are you rabbit on about Claude?
Well, I weren't going to rabbit on. I was just going to say I'll get Terry involved because Terry's a better talker than Claude. Claude's the guy that shouts on AFTV or used to shout on AFTV before he set up his own channel. It's Sunday, innit?
Sunday night.
Sunday 7:15. Sunday 7:15. I'm right on it. I ain't got my calendar anymore. I can't check it. There's no calendar. Just an oven. Well, what's that? What purpose does that serve?
It's mad, by the way, because I've been in your new kitchen and it's probably double the size of your old kitchen, but the exact angle that you've got it at makes it look exactly the same shape and size.
Yeah. Well, I'm not ready for it. To be honest, I nearly did it that way, facing the door, but I thought I can't just do it with a white door. It looks shit. But yeah, it is. Yeah. No, it's a white door. It could have looked better. Next week I'll be in the office hopefully, but we need to get a desk. But anyway, let's get back onto the game. I am quietly confident, and I know that is a shock. When I'm confident, that means the world order needs restoring because something has gone fucking wrong somewhere.
He's been moving out. Now he's going to beat Arsenal.
I just don't know. I just think they've been so bad this season. The pressure is mounting on Arteta, and I honestly believe we could be the people to stick that final knife into him. But bearing in mind, they're playing Dundalk tomorrow, so bearing in mind, Dundalk could do it. If Dundalk beat Arsenal tomorrow, could you imagine the meltdown? Could you imagine that? I don't think they will. I think Arsenal will put the kid
because we will get the arse end of that. It's like a storm when you see it in New York. You think, oh, it's all well and good, but the fucking tail end of that's going over here. Yeah. And then that's what'll happen. They get a spanking this Thursday night. They'll make a point against us about it, and that's not what we need. Could do it like a little 1-0 over there for them. Keep the tails up a bit, and we'll.
I think they'll beat Dundalk. To be fair, Dundalk are pretty much, no offence to any Dundalk fans listening, Quilter. I don't know if you are a Dundalk fan. You're probably not. You're obviously a Burnley fan. But they are, not of the standard, I think, is a political answer. So I think Arsenal will beat them no matter what team they put out. I kind of hope the Dundalk do win. That would be class. I probably will stick it on tomorrow night while I'm working. But predictions then, because I'm quietly confident, but I'm not thinking we're going to go to Emirates and turn them over, not by any stretch. I'm thinking 1-1, thinking another draw, keep it ticking along, another point on the scoreboard as we then get into more winnable games over the next few games. Give us a bit more confidence to go into them and then start picking some points up. So I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go same again. We score first, then get pegged back. What are you going for?
I don't know if I've ever said a prediction of Burnley to get beat on Turfcast before. I don't think I've ever done it. I think I've always gone that. No, we're gonna smash them, mate. 1-1.
Well, it would be weird if you think we're going to get beat by Arsenal, but yet you always predict we're going to get a draw against Man. I don't know. Sorry, I'll say a draw, Man City.
Yeah, because I always have that optimistic. I've just got this horrible feeling that they're going to make an example of us because of obviously Arteta and the pressure he's under at the minute. I'm hoping I'm wrong. My heart is saying 1-1. But my head is honestly saying like 3-0 Arsenal.
I'm disappointed in you. I honestly am.
Himself. Not happy about it.
3-0 against Leeds. They're 15th. Who are they? They're nothing.
I don't even think we have that many shots when we go Arsenal.
No, it's Arsenal beating one of them teams that just absolutely seem to have it on us. They don't necessarily smash us every time. They get a helping hand. Literally, sometimes.
This is why I'm saying it. I'm a man scorned. Like I said, the only shots we seem to get are a Westie in swinger. I can't do it. I can't go against it. I'm sticking with my familiarities. I've not 1-1.
Fair enough. Right, well, like I said, I have been speaking to... What's that? 3-0? Arsenal?
Making sure I didn't have a cough on while
Yeah, right. Basically, if it was on Super 6 and you had money on it, what would you put down? It's not going to be on Super 6, but if it was on Super 6...
I don't know.
You don't know. You just don't want to say it. You do know, you just don't want to say it.
I do know exactly what I want to put, but I'm not saying it. I refuse to be the negative. My job's the positive. I don't want to be the negative. 1-1.
Fair enough. Well, as I said, hopefully we will be getting Terry on from the what's his channel called again now? It works with Claude. Claude and Banter or something. No, Claude and the Bansters. That's it.
This week, you know what happened with Palace?
Yeah, it weren't Palace. Oh, yeah, it were Palace. Yeah. Rival podcast. That's what you're from. Yeah, all right. But yeah, hopefully we will be getting Claude on. Fuck, I've done it. Not Claude. Terry from Claude and the Band. See what happened? You get it in my head now. So I'll have more of a chat with him this week. It might be live on Sunday morning. I might pre-record it on Saturday night or whatever. But it'll probably be put out on Sunday morning. Maybe even Saturday night. Depends if I can be else editing it. But is there anything you want to add, Simon, before we go?
No, good. Thank you very much for having me. I look good, mate.
Thank you for coming round. I tell you what, listeners, right? I tell you what. Now that salons are open again and stuff, that means you can get your hair cut again and stuff. Which means Simon is now legally allowed to go to people's houses and cut hair. You've been to Matt's this week, haven't you? You think you've been to Chris's? Yeah. Tom Eaton as well.
Tomorrow. Well, tonight on the podcast.
On the podcast off Thursday. You're going to Tom's on Thursdays. He actually gave me the football treatment this week, listeners. He actually came to my house and cut my hair in my kitchen. I didn't take my top off like these footballers do because no one wants to see that. But he actually came to my house with all these bits and all these gear and cut my hair for me. And I finally felt it's taken what? How long have you been cutting hair now? About 8 years?
I've cut your hair in fucking luxury hotels in Nice. Don't give me that shit.
I finally felt like he respected me. I finally felt like he respected me, everybody. That's what happens. If he respects you, he comes to your house to cut your hair. He don't make you go to his salon. He comes to your house.
I once broke my knee, roughly throwing a time out 11 a.m. And by 8 p.m. I was in the hotel on one leg cutting his hair.
And you said luxury, by the way. That hotel was not luxury. You know about the one in Nice?
Yeah.
Well, it were better than the one in Paris, but fuck me. Anything were better than that one in Paris. But the one, I wouldn't call it luxury. I'd just call it standard. But yeah, Mike, thank you for the comment on my hair.
That's right.
Hopefully by next week I'll have some product in it. And I'll be in the office.
I get criticised when I'm not on brand.
Because they're still at the old house.
Have you brought anything over?
Just the settees and the tellies, mainly.
And you told me that's in the box in garage.
What is?
Your box of shirts is in garage. I've seen it. My own eyeballs.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to have a look.
Oh, all right, well, I'll have to fill in a gap now.
Hold on, no, because everyone can still hear me.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bluetooth, isn't it? Right, I'm opening my garage. Oh, it's cold in here. Oh, shit, yeah, they're there.
Hey!
How did you know that?
You said, I'll sit on this box for you, Simon. Because I couldn't reach your checks.
Yeah, it weren't that box that I got out, were it? It was another box. You must have seen it when I got out. Apologies then. Yeah, criticise me if you want. There you go. I'm not on brand. I apologise. I'll be on brand next week, and hopefully there'll be branding behind me on wall if I'm in office, because I've got some shirts I want to put on wall. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you to Simon for coming on. Thank you to everybody for listening or watching this latest episode of the VODCAST podcast with me, Joe Redmond, and of course Simon Townley. And watch along. Are you available? You've only just found out it's Sunday night.
I think so. Yeah, that should be all right.
Yeah. If you want to join us for the watch along, I think I'm available. I got the rota, and I'm pretty sure I'm off on Sunday, so I think I'm available. With it being Sunday night, I think John will be available, so that'll be a full house. Sorry, Kieran, but it'll be a full house. In fact, let's go on to that. I haven't spoken to you about what happened with Kieran, because I remember I quickly went on to watch along, and I seen Kieran's face pop on. And I'm like, oh, Simon's got Kieran on buzzing. He's been wanting to come on for a bit, but then he literally just went away like 10 seconds later. So what happened?
It was so frustrating because I had like a little idea for a feature of sort of like and I still think it's a cool idea, especially when I'm on my own or you're on your own, to sort of bring a fan in who's watching the game and on the chat. It could be anyone every sort of 20 minutes. 4 times a game, and just say like, oh, what are you reckoning? Oh, this is dog. Like when they go to the crowd and then they say like, oh, this is crap. We need to do this, and just get an opinion of it. So I thought, oh, Kieran will do it. Unfortunately, he missed the first 20 minutes because we were driving. So then we did the 40th minute, and then he come in and it was crap. It was just I couldn't hear him. I put him on and I couldn't hear him. And then the 60th, I said, I'll tell you what, we'll try it again at 60th minute because it does it with me. Do you know when you go on sometimes and it's a bit. I can hear you jumping in your voice, like yeah. That he said. I couldn't hear him at all, but he said I was jumping. So I said, tell you what, don't worry, we'll try it 60th minute. Go out of the app, come back in it. It'll be right, I bet you. And it went. So I give up, man.
Well, if going forward, if people do want to do that, you're better off doing it on computers rather than phones. It does work on phones because I know you do it on your phone, don't you, Simon? When we watch along, but I tend to find that it is better on computers. So yeah, if you do want to do that going forward, then computers is the way forward. But we digress again. The point was the watch along is back this week.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll get that feature working in future.
Yeah, the watch along's back. I will be doing a. Just realised I ain't got a Sky dish here yet, so we might be delayed.
I've got some more.
Yeah. Do you know anyone know any airmen who can put a Sky dish up before Sunday? We'll get into that. I might be delayed, and if that is the case, if I'm far too delayed, like 2 or 3 minutes, I might not even come on it because it'll just completely ruin it. Yeah, I'll get into that. Oh, and the pre-game show will be up Sunday. If you don't want to watch the watch along, you don't want to watch the pre-game show, we'll see you next week for the podcast next week. See you later.